Hi, my name's Chris Dixon. This is Founder Stories. Today we have Scott Heiferman, the co-founder and CEO of Meetup. Thanks for being here.
No problem. Good to be here, Chris.
So how'd you get started? You've started like a bunch of companies, right out of college, maybe?
Yeah. And actually, I was had to move my dad out of his house recently, and I found an old letter that I wrote after I wrote some software for the Apple IIc, a game that got rejected by every software publisher I sent it to, and I was 10, which was in '82. So that was the start.
I had an Apple II. I used to code and try to make games. So, and then like, what was your first startup?
I started what was the first online ad agency in '94.
So that was like 95. Right out of college-ish or something?
Yeah, I worked at Sony for a year and realized that I didn't like working for a big company and started an online ad business, even though I hated advertising and had never sort of didn't know anything about the business.
And at this point, was there even an online ad market really, or?
No, there wasn't.
Because we had the founder of DoubleClick on the show, and he was talking about how it was like, hey, let's go make internet ads or whatever. And at the time, it was like no one had any idea if these things would make money or if there'd be a real business around it. And I think that was like what, 94.
Yeah, well, I set up shop, and this guy named Kevin O'Connor, and then later Kevin Ryan came like knocking on my apartment door because ran the company out of an apartment, and he was saying, I'm thinking of starting an online ad thing. That was the story.
So your idea was, instead, like their idea was to power the technology, and your idea was to kind of play the role of like a traditional agency.
Yeah, those guys were smart. I was just a 22-year-old idiot.
So you were gonna like just broker kind of stuff, or basically?
No, we were an agency. Or
like creative stuff and all that kind of. Or
the idea was to be an online media buying agency, even though there wasn't any media to buy at the time. I just was really interested in how traffic was going to flow and how links would be a currency, and just sort of, dicked around with that. But then it grew to be this, 100+ person company within a few years.
Did you raise money, or did it just sort of grow?
Never. Only at like the very end we raised a little money. It was just this bootstrap thing, profitable with 100+ people, and sold it at the right time to agency.com at the end of '99 before the shit hit the fan, and it was fun.
And so, and like, what was your first when did you know it was more than just like a little hobby or whatever? Did you get did you land a big deal, or?
We became like, here we are.
What was your first? Who was your first?
We were just some schmucks in an apartment, and we were like the online ad agent, the online media buying agency of record for all of Disney and British Airways, and and then I quickly realized how much I hated the ad business, and found my way out of it and didn't know what the hell I wanted to do with my life, and lucky enough,
this is like when you worked
found what
didn't you
I
work
liked.
at McDonald's or something at that point?
Yeah.
That was like a way to kind of understand.
Actually, I went a little bit crazy, not knowing what I want to do with my life. So I got a job at the 4th and Broadway McDonald's because I was hanging around with too many lawyers and accountants, and at the time I just wanted to see what it was like to be in part of an actual real business.
I used to deliver Domino's Pizza in Ohio.
Yeah,
and that was an interesting experience, and it was like had to wear this like blue uniform and the hat.
Wow.
One interesting thing I learned
is you put the thing on top of your car?
Yep. And then one of the most interesting things I thought was, so Springfield, Ohio is a college with like kind of wealthy kids, and it has like a Navistar plant, factory. And this is not like some kind of populist, this like thing I'm making up, which is that literally the tips were inversely correlated to income. So like the biggest tip I ever got, and the thing is that all of your money was basically tips, because they paid you like $3 an hour or whatever. And I think like I got like a $5 or $10 tip from a guy in a trailer park. And the college students, they would like literally make you count out like $78.26, and you'd like count out the change. Like, dude, can't you even round up the dollar?
Wow.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, Chris, but I think you are making a poignant statement about society.
I mean, I'm just reporting the facts there, but it was an interesting experience though.
Yeah.
So then what happened? Then you start another company, or?
So actually it's funny, we're sitting here at AOL. When the ad agency was sold, I spun out a project that we were working on called RocketBoard, which was a colossal failure, and actually we blew through about $20 million of AOL money back then, which maybe we would have had a better table if didn't waste that money. But and then so didn't know what I was interested in.
So RocketBoard the idea was to. So you don't want to talk about it.
Oh no, I just laugh thinking about the stupidity of the idea.
It's probably something that's going to happen now. By the way,
we wanted to reinvent.
I think Kleiner just funded a company with $20 million to do that. Okay.
Actually, the problem is I don't know if there are keyboards anymore.
If you wanted to reinvent the keyboard and you had like special buttons.
Yeah, we wanted to we say what would be a better keyboard? It should be programmable buttons that takes you to this stuff, tied to a browser. I'm sorry, this is 1999. But actually there was a guy named Thomas Reardon, who was a Microsoft guy at the time. He was the who was a buddy of mine, and I was in this venture. I was really into it, and this is before it failed. And he said to me, Scott, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm building like a new keyboard. It's gonna be great. He's like, it's stupid. Like, why don't you do something? Why can't you do something that's gonna make some try to change, do something in the world?
Yeah.
And that really.
So he wasn't saying it less, or it was more about having impact or meaningfulness or something.
He was saying, to kind of, I don't know. Sometimes I see startups today, and I see the people behind them are really, really sharp and really, just have a lot of potential. And they're like dicking around with some like farting app for the iPhone, and I just want to be like, there's so much important. I mean, there's so much good stuff to build, and I don't mean good like do good. I mean like stuff that will really stuff that people will thank you for. Mm-hmm. No one would really thank you for another button on the keyboard. So. Anyway, that really stuck with me.
So that was that a difficult experience, like the failure, or I mean, it's losing people's money.
Yeah, I mean, no, because actually,
you have to lay people off, and all. I mean, you have to shut down the company, right? Or no, I don't know.
Yeah, thankfully, I was, I never was running it, and so that crap job was left to my partners at the time.
Okay, I see.
But no, it was, I knew that it wasn't the thing that I knew that it wasn't the thing that I was so excited about, and I didn't know what that thing was going to be, and so, thankfully that came.